Hello there and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries, and welcome also to New Bikesville, population me. So if you were watching last week, you'll know that the headline news is that I have a new bike. I bought it from one of the big bike chain retailers here in the UK on a Black Friday deal, and I had to go up to central London last week and collect it. So now I've got the bike home. I've had an opportunity to have a look over it, although unfortunately I've not had much opportunity to give it a good long ride because of the weather and other things kind of getting in the way. But the quick overview is that it's a Cannondale Synapse. It's one of their entry-level models. It's got a carbon frame, and although it is carbon, it's not super light. So I intend to use it as a winter bike, and my feelings on winter bikes is that you need something a bit heavier so that when you do swap over to your good lighter summer bike, it's a bit easier to ride and you're that much faster. The frame itself is designed to be more of a sportive bike, so it's not a race bike, it's not as aggressive. You're sat a bit more upright, so it's a bit more comfortable on longer rides, which is absolutely fantastic and precisely what I want it for. It comes also equipped with a Shimano 105 group set, which is pretty good, and the gear ratio is pretty low as well. So the lowest gear is a 34 on the front chainring and a 32 on the rear cassette. So that's the lowest of my bike's gear ratios that I have throughout my bikes, and that's really going to help me when I start doing the climbs again. It's also my first bike to be equipped with hydraulic disc brakes. Up until now, all my bikes have had rim brakes and they've been fine, but with this being a winter bike, I thought the hydraulic disc brakes would have a bit more stopping power in the wet and potentially icy conditions. Obviously, when you buy a new bike, your position on that new bike is all important. Now, as I said earlier, the Synapse frame has been designed more for comfort rather than speed, so for the sportive rider rather than the out racer. And I didn't get a bike fit done in the shop, that wasn't part of the deal, but I do know my measurements. So when I went to Mallorca, luckily I took a note of those measurements for the hire bike, and the hire bike came to me set up according to those measurements and worked perfectly. So I'm going to try and apply a similar logic to this bike. So far I've set it up according to my calculations, and basically I had to move the seat forward from the one that was set in the shop, and I've had to put a new stem on it as well because the one that came supplied was a little bit shorter than I need. I'm particularly long in the body, so my reach is quite long. And so far I've set the bike up. I've only managed to go out and do maybe 30 kilometers on it, and so far it feels okay. I can also detect that I do need to do a few more tweaks. It's not 100% right. But hopefully that will improve as I manage to go out on longer rides on the bike. So despite having a new bike, I haven't really been able to go out and ride it. The weather's been absolutely awful, very wet, very windy, and I just haven't had the time. I've been away, so the bike's been stuck here at home. I wasn't able to take it away with me. But the weather is set to improve, well, sort of improve. It's set to become colder but drier, and I don't mind the cold. It's the wet and the wind that I just can't face. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get out and get some longer rides in and be able to fine-tune my position on the new bike. And of course, once I have had an opportunity to go out and do a few longer rides on it, I will be doing a complete review. So, if you found this film useful, please like and share, and if you'd like to get the most out of your cycling, please consider subscribing for my regular weekly uploads. Thanks for watching.